So good evening, Devcon Philippines. I think we will going to start while waiting for our partners since we have already 45 participants. So Jan, let's start. So yeah, good evening everyone. Good evening, Devcon. Well, I would like to introduce myself first. I am MJ, co-founder of the Davao DeFi community, and we are a grassroots community based in Mindanao. Grassroots Web3, Web3 community based in Mindanao, and we are dedicated to advancing Web3 education, blockchain awareness, and real-world adoption across the Philippines. And OpenxAI is our project partner. So welcome to our OpenxAI Developers Workshop. And tonight we will be exploring the exciting intersection between AI and Web3. So you will learn how OpenxAI can elevate your projects and how you can join our ongoing Hacknode Global Hackathon. So before we begin, I would like to acknowledge our community partner, Devcon Davao. Thank you so much, Danray De Jesus, and the president, Joshua of Devcon Davao, for collaborating with us on this workshop. And to guide us with this journey, we are honored to have Sir John Forfar. He is a developers relations expert from OpenxAI, and he is a full stack developer specializing in AI and Web3. He has years of experience helping communities like us translate complex and technical concepts into real-world applications. So he will be leading us through the session, and he will share practical insights and answer your questions along the way. So don't hesitate to ask in the chat room if you have questions. All right. So John, take the stage.
Thanks, MJ. Thank you. And thanks for everyone attending from Devcon today.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the session. So let's get started. Just a quick introduction from myself. My name's John Forfar. I'm DevRel at OpenxAI. I've been an open source contributor for about a year now to this project. Basically, it's like MJ said, the intersection between AI and Web3 and making AI and the future of AI available for the masses so everyone can use it, everyone can afford it, and everyone has access to it. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly go through in today's workshop some slides, then we'll go into a vibe coding workshop, and yeah, you'll be able to learn some practical skills around vibe coding and using the various vibe coding tools, and then also talk about deployment to bare metal and decentralized compute. So a lot of topics to cover today, and we'll get started now. So I'll just change over to the slides. So let us know if everyone can see the slides, all good. So basically I'm talking today about, thanks for the thumbs up, is OpenxAI. So a permissionless AI protocol, your data, your AI, your rules, no middlemen. So the big thing that OpenxAI is addressing, it is the big problem around the large technology companies owning 92% of AI power and talent. And that's controlled across these 4 big mega corporations. You probably know who they are. These companies hoard the world's data. They own the largest data centers. They own the social media platforms. They control a lot of the hardware that you might be using at home today. And then they run the operating systems as well. And they also control a lot of the backbone of the internet around the globe. So it is a monopoly. And what OpenxAI set out to do, so the founder, Ashton, was to start a new mission around AI. Like the internet, it must be free and open and accessible to everyone, not owned and censored by a monopoly. So as you know, there's a lot of corporations that control it. There's a lot of open source AI communities such as Hugging Face, but even then, there is still middlemen, and a lot of people can't access the latest AI tools or build businesses on top of it. And that's what we want to address today, and that's teaching you how to, even if you aren't fully experienced in coding, being able to build your own AI apps and integrate it with Web3. So these middlemen, these big companies are essentially gatekeepers, and they have the ability to, let's say, if you sign up for ChatGPT, if you violate the terms and conditions, you might be doing not something that you think is very bad, but there could be some small legal clause, and you have to you basically get your ChatGPT service turned off, whether that's your personal account that you chat to at ChatGPT, or maybe you have API access for an application you're trying to build. So there is still a lot of censorship that is possible, not to mention that the models aren't open source at ChatGPT, so that the ones that you use at the site, and yeah, there is some restrictions around the conversations you can have with them. What OpenxAI does, it decentralizes the whole stack of AI, the whole stack of technology. So there is no people that own it. It's all open source. And when you deploy your server, your application, you control the data. No one else controls the data. No one else controls the code. You're free to do what you need to do. Obviously, you shouldn't be doing things that are illegal. That's a given, but the ownership is on the person to make sure that they're adhering by their local laws, and not by the middleman that can turn your application and your access off. So one of the big things, say, with ChatGPT, and I have this discussion with a lot of university students, it does get expensive. So if you're using ChatGPT and you're trying to get the most powerful service, it might cost $200 per month to use. Not only that, but when you go to sign up, you may need to enter KYC, which is your name, your address. You then might have to enter a credit card detail to pay for the monthly fee, which is the tier, the subscription tiers. A lot of people in Philippines, in the rest of the world, possibly around 2 billion people of the world, do not have an actual credit card or a bank account linked to a credit card. So they can't actually sign up to these services. So that's an example of, potentially like 20% of the world not being able to access these AI tools because they don't have the right banking. So with OpenxAI, they solve this. And I can show you in the upcoming section of basically a full deployment, a full demo of how to deploy an AI app without using a credit card. We've got someone talking, just check the mute as well, thank you. The other thing I wanted to talk about is AI infrastructure R&D, so research and development. A lot of that is being spent by the same big four companies. So they've got $50 billion, $100 billion deals. You can see in the news recently, they'll give money to one entity who then gives it to someone else and then gives it back. But they're signing $50 billion deals, $100 billion deals. And a lot of this goes into R&D. So they're basically setting themselves up for the future and controlling AI narrative as well. So all the tech they're investing in heavily. So it's just something to keep an eye out for. And then even the big, open source community online called Hugging Face, they host over 2 million open source AI models. But even then, when you sign up, you still have to KYC, you still have to, sign a onerous terms and conditions when you download a model to your computer. And it is very difficult to build a business, to host it, on their platform. I have created a video on my YouTube account showing this. So yeah, feel free to check that out. The other one is basically there is a huge problem with if you're building an AI startup that the middleman takes a huge cut. So a huge commission or markup of the AI inference might be charged by the API provider to your application. So by getting rid of all the middlemen stack, and that could be anything from the cloud hosting provider that has closed software that hosts your little server, all the way through to the API provider that provides the endpoint that your app talks to. They could be marking up and making a lot of profit as well. And we just sort of look at that and go, well, there is a different way to build this where the whole stack is open source. There is no middlemen fees, and we can drive that cost right down and potentially make a lot of savings up to, anywhere between 80 to 92% is what we've seen. So it is possible to do that. The other part of this is the cloud hosting is very expensive. So there is startups paying $25,000 per month in hosting and AI inference, and a lot of that cost just isn't needed. So yeah, I'll be quick, but I'm going through just a quick intro of OpenxAI, and then we'll get into vibe coding. So OpenxAI, the way they solve this is they decentralize compute. So if you think of it as a sky scanner for compute and GPU, they aggregate bare metal servers all around the world. So there is plenty of bare metal data center providers. All they do is provide servers with nothing on them. And what OpenxAI does, it can install a full open source stack all the way from the operating system to the application libraries like Python, JavaScript, all the way up to your website stack that you're using. And then we can also run open source AI models on top of that hardware and then deliver really affordable hosting and AI inference to you. So you can actually build an app that scales up and you have an affordable fixed costs. So how does it actually work? And I'll run through a quick demo, but basically it is bare metal. And then on top of that, there's a fully open source operating system called Xnode OS, which is a fork of NixOS. This is a Linux distro. It has 16,000 plus developers online contributing to NixOS, and Xnode OS is based on that. And that's the operating system that runs on top of the bare metal servers. So OpenxAI has access to the operating system. Therefore, everything above that is fully open source stack as well. Like I said, Python libraries, JavaScript. You just choose, like Lego blocks, the different modules you want to install into your app, and then you can actually deploy it. So it is very affordable because the whole stack is open source. And you can check the GitHub repos to see the operating system, to see the different app templates that you can use to modify and then deploy your own app. So there is huge savings doing it this way. Anywhere between 80 and 92% is what we've seen when you compare it to the other big cloud providers. Again, there's no middleman taking a big cut. So that's how you can drive the cost down. And then basically the way around KYC is to completely decentralize your access. So when you enter into the X Studio, which is essentially a website, you can deploy and talk to the decentralized bare metal providers around the world, and then deploy your software on top of that. And the beauty of this is we do host the solution at our site, but because it's open source, you can actually run it locally as well and talk directly to your bare metal server. So the whole stack is open source and it is decentralized. And then when you actually connect your wallet to the website, that's all you need to do. You just need a Web3 wallet. You don't need to KYC, enter your name and address, fill out a credit card, get a test transaction sent to your credit card, anything like that. You don't need approvals to deploy either. So we just let you get on with building and do it in an affordable way. And yeah, I'll just run into a quick demo of Xnode's X Studio. So basically what we're going to do is pick a model and then deploy it and then chat to the model with the chatbot template app that we have. So let me just share that. Okay, so this is the Xnode Studio. I'll just do a quick deployment. So as you can see, I click build now. Now I'll just zoom in a bit. I just wanted to show you some of the different models that are available. Again, you know, very popular OpenAI's open source model, GPT OSS. There's DeepSeek R1, another very popular open source model. So what we'll do is just run through a quick demonstration of what this looks like. So with DeepSeek, just a quick history of this. I'll explain everything about DeepSeek, but I'll quickly just run through the demo deployment. So what we're going to do is, let's say we select the 7 billion parameter model. Again, each of these models is, you know, different sizes, different server requirements. But we're just going to pick, you know, one of the smaller models, 7B. When I say you can deploy to any server around the world, essentially it is this Skyscanner for compute and GPUs. So it does load up, you know, live pricing from different data center providers around the world. And what OpenxAI is able to do is to negotiate on your behalf, get great bulk discounts, and then you know, any sort of deployment that's happening through the studio can get a cheaper rate also on top of the wholesale bare metal provider's price. So you know, it's pretty affordable. And you basically, for this, we can select a free trial because there is 10 pre-deployed servers all ready for you guys to play around with and test. So you can actually go to studio.openxai.org and deploy one yourself right now. If you are doing that, try to share your screen like record your screen and then share it on social media and just tag OpenxAI. It really helps us share that around and get the word out there. The other one we wanted to quickly talk about is OpenxAI is deploying on Base. So we've partnered with Base for our smart contracts. It is EVM L2, so it's a very fast version of Ethereum, you know, launched by the Coinbase team, who then launched an L2 called Base. And we've deployed some smart contracts onto that. So when you're deploying your app, all you need to do is select one of these created contracts. It's already hooked up to your application. And when you deploy it, we can link it to your application through this portal. So one of the basic things is the way you access these servers. So like I said, the whole application is open source. It's fully you know, built on top of open source infrastructure. What we've been able to do is link access to the server with a Web3 wallet. So instead of using SSH, it's using Web3 wallet to connect. And then the other beauty of this is each time you deploy the application and deploy on top of a server, it's actually linked to an NFT that sits inside the wallet. So what that means is you can actually build up a whole entire AI application. That might be an image generation app. You can deploy it onto your own domain, and then you can actually sell the whole business. You might get 1,000 users using it. You can actually sell that as an NFT. And this can be sold on OpenSea. So you can actually see some OpenxAI or OpenMesh NFTs there where people are selling their NFT, which is actually their server access. So the whole thing is essentially wrapped in the NFT for access and then can be tradable. The other thing that is possible is microtransactions. So with Ethereum and Base, there is smart contracts that allow for monthly payments, so subscriptions to your server. And then the beauty of using Web3 and a decentralized clouds and AI stack is we can charge. If you're trying to build a Web2 AI application, you might have to charge $50 a month and then have like thousands of users to pay for all your bills. When it's a lot more affordable, you can actually use Web3 to make subscription payments from your customers and get that price right down where people are potentially spending 5 cents per month or maybe $5 per month just to access your application. So you can really drive the price down where people aren't paying $50 a month. The other beauty of this is you can enable other revenue models as well for your AI app, and that could be pay for use. So like I said, 5 cents, someone could pay to do a few image generation credits and then pay 5 cents for those credits. And that's totally possible on the base chain when there is low gas and low fees. You could really get affordable business models and open up new business models for your idea. So we'll just deploy, we'll decide later on that. So, and then we'll skip connecting the wallet. So this is the pre-deployed servers that are ready for you to do a demo. So we'll just let this run in the background. While we're doing that, I did see someone put their hand up for questions. So let's go into some quick questions, MJ, and I'll just load up the questions now.
Yeah, guys, just put your questions in the chat room so we can run through.
While we wait for this to load, so yeah, there's a loading animation that's just showing you, explaining what's happening. Behind that, you can actually see the terminal console. So basically, it is deploying a whole operating system onto a bare metal server. So basically, it's installing the NixOS fork. Then what we're doing is deploying an app template. So what this means, there is a flake.nix, which is essentially a configuration file of how to deploy the server and what packages to install. What we're doing is deploying a chatbot application template. And what it does, it installs Next.js, it installs Llama, and what Llama is an AI model framework that can run AI models that are open source on your computer or on the cloud computer. And that's what we're doing here. And then it's also installing an open source AI model. So like I said, we're using DeepSeek R1 7 billion parameter model. So it's going through, it's installing all of that. And, it takes a couple of minutes and then it's done. So the beauty of NixOS and that community is they support hundreds of thousands of packages, and you can basically, you're fully enabled to pick those different packages and deploy them yourself in your application. So it is a pretty cool way, and it's really specialized operating system that works on a lot of data centers as well. So even learning Linux, learning open source NixOS, which is what Xnode OS is based on, it's really handy for deploying on top of cloud, especially if you want to get rid of a lot of the the closed source products that a lot of the big tech cloud providers give you. So one of the examples I like to say is Postgres. Postgres is an open source database, not really owned by anyone. It's open source. And let's say if you were to go into Azure, I've done this for a previous client where I had to install a database. It was costing like $250 per month just for a little database application that was barely used, Postgres. And, we haven't even launched the startup yet. We still haven't had a huge amount of customers yet, but we're still paying this $250 for the server. The beauty with NixOS and deploying that on your own bare metal is you see the hardware stats, and you can actually you know, you deploy the operating system, and then you pick the different sort of tech like database, and that's Postgres, and that's very light software. Obviously, you can run it at home, so why can't you run it on a powerful cloud machine? And we can see here it has deployed the operating system. What we're doing is we've got an open web UI front end. So this is another package that's installed, which is a front end website that allows the chatbot interface. We're then installing Alarma. So this is basically, running the Alarma service on the Linux box, which is Xnode OS. And then it's downloading and pulling. You can see here it's downloading the 4.7 gig AI DeepSeek R1 7 billion parameter model. So you can see how fast it's going as well. So it is very fast. These are all data center spec servers, and it's pulling it down. It's once that's ready, it'll have go to app at the bottom. So that's nearly done. And this is essentially what an app template is. So you're creating a Nix file that tells Nix what like JavaScript packages to install Open Web UI, again another package, and then Alarma, again another package, and all you're doing is picking the packages to install, and it deploys it. So this is nearly done, and then what will happen then is I'll be able to open this and run it. So let's see. So there is a whole bunch. There's another 9 servers that you guys can play with. So you're welcome to go to studio.openxai.org and play around with these. So feel free to deploy. It's good to read the output and learn about this stuff. So check that out. And when this finishes, we'll be able to talk to DeepSeek. So give us a thumbs up if you've actually talked to DeepSeek before, or you've just gone back to Grok or ChatGPT and never bothered. Maybe a thumbs down. So have you not used DeepSeek? Let us know. If you have used DeepSeek, thumbs up. That's cool. So yeah, a lot of people have used DeepSeek. Awesome. And the beauty of DeepSeek is this was a huge disruptor to the big closed source tech companies at the start of the year. So in the start of 2025, DeepSeek was released. ChatGPT was already working on LLMs and ChatGPT for the last 2 years. The big change and introduction of AI chatbots in a big way was ChatGPT, like version 3, and then version 4 came out, and so on. But what that meant was they were first to market. They cornered the market, took a lot of the market share, and investors invested in OpenAI and ChatGPT, basically thinking that they're going to control the market forever. And a big open source disruption came along, where DeepSeek released an open source model that had comparatively the same features at the start of the year as ChatGPT. And during that day, it caused huge disruptions to the US stock market when a lot of these big AI tech firms got disrupted, and some of their markets or their prices of their stocks went down like 30% in a day. And it was kind of an adjustment where investors and the market started to understand that, hang on a sec, what's the actual moat here? If someone else can build an open source chatbot that people can still talk to and it's got a similar response, what's the benefit here? So so this is a pretty cool way to cut that cost down and leverage the latest open source model. So we can see here what it all looks like. We'll just let that finish. It should be finishing any second now. Yep. And then what happens then is it it remains reserved to you for 30 minutes, so feel free to go there and do that yourself. It's saying 100% downloaded. Let's just wait for that. There should be a button coming up saying go to app. While we wait for that, I'll just continue the slides and just finish them off. So basically, when you deploy an app, you're doing it on top of OpenxAI, OpenxAI is launching a V5 Studio. So because we've partnered with Base, you can actually deploy your app inside the AI App Store, and then people can actually check out the app that you've deployed. They can subscribe and connect the wallet and do that payment mechanism I was talking about, where they can subscribe to the app. They can pay a subscription, pay for use, things like that. So there's going to be a lot of cool business models. What we're trying to do is help people build their own apps using fully open source stacks in a decentralized way, and then use vibe coding to do that, and then basically deploy it into this app store. And while we wait for this, I just wanted to quickly show you something that came out on Twitter. So this was only a couple of days ago, but there is this video here. Let me know if sound doesn't work. It should work. But basically, so this is the Base app factory, mini app factory. So Base mini app factory. So what this does, it integrates with Base Wallet as a mini app, and then you can actually deploy that app not only to the OpenxAI App Store, but also the Base Wallet, and also it integrates into Farcaster, a decentralized Twitter. So make sure you create an account and follow me on Farcaster as well. So this is coming out tomorrow. So looking forward to that. This tweet's obviously been out there for a few days, so a lot of people are excited. So yeah, check that out. And probably one of the big things to talk about here, I'll just stop the music, is you will be able to vibe code directly on the Base mini app factory site. So you can actually, instead of using big tools like Cursor or VS Code with some AI agent extension plugged in, you can actually vibe code the app just through the mini app factory as well. I think initially you'll be able to create simple apps and then, like I said, deploy it, connect the smart contract for the way you want to monetize. So yeah, a lot of cool things are going to come out of that. And maybe later this month, there'll be a lot more people building on top of it. Probably one of the questions is we do have a hackathon running. So if this launches tomorrow, it might get a lot easier for people to build apps. If not, we can obviously see some of the awesome apps that are getting built now, and they're going to be a lot more complicated than I think some of the apps built with this. So looking forward to seeing what people build there. All right, so let's get back to Studio. Okay, so it does say it is finished. Yep. Let's see if I can open it. Okay, I can see someone else has started building an app as well. I'll just try and open this. So it's opening in a new tab. So if you can't see it, there is a new URL that's popped up. I've just clicked the link to open the site. It's just starting up now, and basically this is the Open Web UI interface. So let's see if that is loading. Let's see. That's all right. So I'll go back to the slides and just let that boot up. It's probably finished installing, but now it's just booting up. Now, one of the other questions I get is basically, is there job opportunities working on an open source project like OpenxAI? Yes, there is. So job seekers can scan the QR code and find the job portal. Basically, there's two pathways. So if you are trying to work for this decentralized organization, basically we need to see sort of merits of what you can build. So try and build something in a hackathon, and that's the quickest way to do it. So by entering into the hackathon, it demonstrates your ability to code, it demonstrates your ability to build a product, it demonstrates your ability to communicate about it through like recording a YouTube video and running through a demo of the product. So these are all great skills for you to do. And we encourage people to enter the hackathons. There is a hackathon running now, and then basically the winners of the hackathon can get prizes, or they can go into a further, if they do win the hackathon in their region, can go into a global accelerator, which has even more prizes available as well. So just a quick one is just on the hackathon. So let me just quickly show you that. The chatbot has loaded, by the way. So let me just quickly flick over. So it did take a bit of time to load, but basically what it's done, it's installed a fresh version of the front-end chatbot interface called OpenWebUI, which is completely open source. What's the point of this? So basically, it enables things like RAG, where you can upload a document and it puts it into a database as a vectorized format. And then when you talk to the AI model, you can actually talk to it, talk to the data that's inside of the file that you upload. So you just click here, upload a file, and then you can actually talk to it. So some people might upload the university textbook, and then they can ask questions of it using DeepSeek R1 7 billion parameter model. So hi there. Tell me about Davao earthquakes. How often do they happen? So just to prove that this is a real life AI, I'm just asking it a question, something that's topical. So for those that are in Davao, hope everyone is safe and there hasn't been any damage, but they have had recent earthquakes. So we obviously experienced that as well. And I've been learning a lot about fault lines and ring of fire and the different things that are happening in the environment. So probably want to just talk about is DeepSeek is a thinking model. So it does take a while to respond, but what it does do is it thinks through the answer in a holistic way before it responds to you. So if you want to have an immediate response model, you can obviously go through the OpenxAI Studio and test all the different types of models. So the one I recommend is like Llama 3.2, which does respond pretty quickly. It doesn't go through this thinking mode. And you can see here, it is talking about Ring of Fire. It talks about the Southern Visayas and all that. So if you really want to learn, you can go spin up the DeepSeek model and start talking to it yourself. Again, there's like hundreds of models. So currently there's 40 models on the OpenxAI Studio. There's a whole bunch more coming as well. A lot of these are open source models available in Llama. And you can see here it is responding. So it is responding to that topical question that I asked. Is there any questions you guys want to ask DeepSeek? If not, I can move off of that and get into the vibe coding section. Before I do that, I'll just quickly show you the hackathon. Again, there's only 15 days left, so there is quite big prizes. So if I click this, so if anyone needs to get to this link, you just go to Hacknode. I'll just put that in the the comments, so hacknode.openxai.org. There is 15 days left of the Global Hackathon. There's a link for the studio at the top right. There's a link to the open source GitHub repo that has example code that you can actually clone to your computer and help build applications with. Then there's a builders Discord. If you want to get some support directly in Discord, please join that. There's a whole bunch of video guides. So as you can see here on this channel, I do post a lot of different guides on teaching developers how to vibe code. The one I did yesterday should be showing up here. Oh yeah, I had to refresh. So this is the one I did yesterday, and it talks about a completely new setup. Instead of just using Cursor, I'm using a completely free and downloaded setup. So combining VS Code with Continue extension, and then using a Llama in the back end of my laptop with the Qwen 2.5 Coder AI model. And I actually got really good results with this. So this is a different way to set it up. If you don't use Cursor, you can use Cursor free edition, but again, it does run out and you get restricted to simpler models that might be 6 months old or something. That's still fine. And, you know, there's a really powerful free coding model that Cursor has partnerships with in Grok. So there's a Grok Coder model that is free to use on Cursor. So, you know, you're welcome to use that. But yeah, this is just another one that I did yesterday, teaching people how to do that. So check out that video. It is pretty useful. If you are entering the hackathon, all the previous workshops are recorded. I've even recorded the one-on-one mentors with the different projects that launched and built an app in Australia, also globally as well. So you can check some of those app ideas out and what was built previously. And then we've got some other example apps as well, like a kids education game. So this is using AI to power the different content of the cards to teach people how to learn about the names of a dog and a cat. Initially, we even got voice working where it actually pronounced the word as well. And then we also ran a session where we forked this and turned it into a language learning tool. So, you know, there's a whole heap of cool things, kind of like Duolingo, where you're using vibe coding to do that. So yeah, there's plenty of examples there. All of these are on the official OpenxAI account, but they're sort of chopped up for specific use cases as well. But have a look at that. The link for that is at the top of the hackathon page. The other thing is there is this global hackathon, 2 weeks left. So make sure you sign up. So you just at the top right, sign up, create an account, and then you have to join the hackathon. So the OpenxAI Hacknode Global is the hackathon name. So join the hackathon. There is still $10,000 in prizes, and you can submit a vibe coded app. So it's a bit crazy to not try and submit an app. Again, it finishes at the end of the month. There's some judging criteria and then some FAQs at the bottom. So yeah, check that out. And the other thing is we do have 101 Filipinos who have signed up. So yeah, clap for all the Filipinos that have signed up. Make sure you do sign up. You've got 2 weeks left. Hopefully, if there is this tool that comes out tomorrow, it will even enable you to build faster. So we're just looking for unique ideas that people actually want to use as an app, and we want to see it, you know, trend up on the App Store and you know, drive a lot of transactions to Base and people coming into Web3 and building on decentralized AI. So that's what we really want to see. You know, quite a lot of growth recently with the Philippines and all the workshops we've been running. And then also you can see all the submissions from India Hacknode, Australia Hacknode. So you can scroll through and check those out as well. So yeah, feel free to get some ideas. I do encourage open source, so people can open up this GitHub repo and clone it and build something off of that. The jobs portal link is here as well. But yeah, have a look at that link. There's a quick start guide as well. So check that out. One of the other prizes, so not just cash, there is hardware prizes as well. So there is the Xnode 1. I've just seen the new website for this, so it looks really pretty amazing. So this is a powerful, a CPU, powerful CPU computer that you can use at home. It can run CPU-based models, but then obviously you can plug the docking station in and then rack your GPU to run the AI models. So it's a pretty cool little like PC. It's power efficient. You'll be installing like Xnode OS on top, and this is a prize in the hackathon. So if you do a good enough submission, you can get one of these, and it's worth over like $3,000 US. So, and also if you do have an old GPU from a gaming computer, you're not really using it, there's going to be cool use cases for that, where you can obviously do local development using the GPU, deploying your apps locally, but also you can actually connect it to the open mesh cloud and start processing workloads and earning some money for using that GPU. So there's a lot of cool use cases. Just a quick one on Base. So yeah, Base is one of the leading blockchains. It is an L2 of Ethereum, helping people build Ethereum apps, but on a quicker chain with lower gas. They seem to have a lot of great ways to encourage and build an actual community around the apps. So they've got a wallet, they've got an app store within the wallet, they've got lots and lots of users. So it's a no-brainer to partner with Base. They're doing amazing things. They also have their own mini apps standard as well, and building apps with them is a pretty cool setup. Then there's also the app store they have. You can see some example apps on the right-hand side. Here's some extra ideas of what you can enable with a mini app that can talk to a decentralized social network like Firecaster. If it's just like X, or Threads for those people that use Threads. So if you can build a game app, a social app, shopping, e-commerce with payments app, or even like I said before, a learning or creative app, language learning or kids education. There's so many excellent Web 2 ideas that you can disrupt just through implementing a Web 3 business model on top, and decentralized AI, so cheaper AI, where AI is always running. So yeah, there's plenty of cool app ideas. I welcome you to build something. So let's do a quick question time, and we'll get into some vibe coding. Just make sure you comment. Let me check the comments. Okay, we got one comment here. So from Emin, what are the trade-offs between using a built-in prompt engineering or model interaction feature within an IDE like Cursor versus building a custom solution using a dedicated platform like open source explainable AI Studio, and then for model interaction? So basically, the trade-offs. So I have been using Cursor for a very long time, and the features that they've delivered are quite remarkable. And I'll run through the features that it has in a second. But basically, Cursor, it is a fork of VS Code originally, and then they went off to raise billions of dollars. They have their own cloud infrastructure that runs a lot of the AI models. You can select different AI models as well, so it is very flexible. Probably the biggest thing is they fixed a lot of the bugs. So as a developer, you can actually vibe code, which basically means talk in normal language, so English, Tagalog, Visayan, whatever. Talk to the large language model and then get it to translate what you're saying into code. So that's what vibe coding is. And then Cursor does it in a really polished way where it's super easy. I would recommend you just use it. Get the free tier. So you can use the free tier for quite a bit, build a basic application. If you want to get advanced, there is a pro tier, which is $20 a month. The problem with the pro tier in Cursor is it's obviously $20 a month. So, you still need the internet, so you can't point it at a llama running on your own computer where you're running an AI. You can try, but what they've done is they've put restrictions in where it just doesn't work. A lot of the features like indexing the code base don't work. It is a free product, but it's very restricted if you're trying to get out of paying for Pro. If you pay for Pro, I think it's worth it if you are a full-time developer. But if you're just vibe coding, learning something for a quick hackathon or like a weekend project, you probably wouldn't be paying $20 a month for that. You're welcome to do so, though. It is a great product. The flip side of that is building the whole thing in-house. I did show you that video, but even that is tricky. So I've been trying to use VS Code, and I'll just quickly show you what that means. So let's move into vibe coding and a quick technical setup. So I'll show you what the difference is between VS Code and then Cursor. So this is VS Code. So I did a whole video showing you how to set this up. So let me show you. So this is a super basic application. And the beauty about this one is I have got this running completely locally with no internet. I can turn my Wi-Fi off, and I did that in the recorded YouTube video, where it still runs, and I'm able to use an AI model running locally. So I'm using Qwen 2.5. So you can sort of see here it is. So down the bottom, I've set up a few different open source AI models on my own laptop. I'm running an M3 MacBook, which is a couple of years old. It's a bit slow. It couldn't run Qwen 3, which is the 30 billion parameter model. It blew up. You can see that on the YouTube video. But yeah, you can basically switch between the different open source AI models in VS Code. So this is not Cursor, this is VS Code. I am running the most basic website. I created a Pokemon card game website, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So this is how basic we're talking. Let me just present that. So you can see here how super basic the website is. And this is using VS Code and a local open source model. Basically, I click this, it takes me to eBay, and it searches for Pokemon cards. So super basic. I'm a bit scared if you look at the YouTube video, if I was to try and change this using this new sort of VS Code plus continue extension plus Llama plus Qwen 2.5, it is a bit buggy, but let's try and do it. So I'll just show you what this open source free no internet version, how that works. And then let me just flick over to VS Code again. So you can see here, just a quick one on how it's set up. So you can go to the model down the bottom and then select settings to either add a model. What it does, basically, so VS Code has GitHub Copilot, which is a Microsoft sort of AI model. I think it's powered by OpenAI or ChatGPT. It's never been that good over the last couple of years. Maybe they're making it better. So what people have done is, because VS Code is open source, they're able to add extensions to VS Code. Who's used VS Code? Just give us a thumbs up. If that's your chosen IDE, let us know. So yeah, basically you can install an extension, and this is all in the YouTube video, but basically you can install continue.dev, which is an extension, and what it does, it enables AI models to chat with. You can chat to the AI model about your code. It can edit, similar to Cursor, so edit the code for you after you chat with it. It can do autocomplete if you want to chat and type the code out yourself. It'll autocomplete the rest of the code in that block. So yeah, pretty useful features, similar to Cursor. It doesn't have the full code indexing, so it has all of that in context yet. I think there's a lot of work to do to get this open source model and free model, like this free version of Cursor alternative working as good as Cursor. And this is the benefit of going back to that question of maybe it is just better to use the whole Cursor IDE, because it is already tailored to AI development using like vibe coding. So, but yeah, this is a way to do it. There is another one called Klein, and I'm going to test that this week and do another YouTube video about it. But yeah, check out the Continue one. I won't talk too much about that. But basically, you can select all the different providers. So you essentially, you can select ChatGPT, you enter your API key, and then you're paying the bill to ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT hosted on Azure. Again, you're paying a bill somewhere. Gemini API, put your API key in, API key, and you have to pay a monthly fee for that as well. You can scroll down this list. There's a whole bunch of other providers as well. But the one that they have got in the main setup for a new model is Llama. And Llama you can install locally and run that yourself. So you just go to a Llama website and download and install it. It's available on Mac, Windows, Linux. And then you can select the different models. So this is how to set up a new model. I've scrolled down and I've already selected, Qwen 2.5 Coda 7B, 7 billion parameter, and then you connect it. And what it does, it updates this config file. So this is the VS Code continue dev extension config file. It is quite zoomed in, but I have to do that for this meetup. But basically, you can have different options of models for your local agent, and then that pops up here. So you can add system messages like, you are a helpful coding assistant, please respond in this certain way. You can even put things like, don't put secret API keys in the response, whatever. Don't respond in JSON format. So this is some of the problems I had, so bugs. But basically, let's add let's do a quick vibe code using Cursor. And again, this may not be as smooth as you want, and Cursor is going to be a lot better. This is VS Code. So we're going to use Qwen 2.5. This model is running on my own laptop. Let's test it out. Okay, so I'm just going to ask a question. So how many buttons do I have on the website? So this is just an example of asking the local open source AI model to check the code. There's only one file here. And hopefully it can answer the question with the answer of 1. And again, this is running on a MacBook. I do have a desktop with a GPU, so I can switch over to that. So you can see here, it doesn't have the context. So this is the problem with this continue extension. It's not as good as Cursor, where it automatically pulls in and copies all the context of all the code. So you just have to do it manually. So you just go how many buttons. So all you do is you select all the code, Command L, and then that puts the code inside the context window of the AI model, and then you chat to it, and then on the front page here. So let's try that again. It now has the code in the context, and these are the little things that these were a problem for developers a year ago, but Cursor's fixed a lot of these problems. So, and you can even see here, it's responded with JSON, which is something I didn't want it to do. And I'm not making a change, so it shouldn't be asking me to apply things. But yeah, let's just see. It's saying I'm going to read the currently open file, which is pretty lame. And you can sort of see here the bugs. So let's see here. It's trying to make some changes, but it just couldn't figure it out. So what I'm going to do is reject that response. I'm going to ask the question again, and I found this is just a bug. I open a new conversation, put the code in, and let's see if Qwen 2.5 Coder running on my own laptop is going to answer it. And this is not the best setup. I've said that in the video. I would recommend Cursor because they get rid of a lot of the bugs. And it's just doing the same thing. So I'm going to go fix that. What I was able to do yesterday is generate this simple HTML file, and it was able to add a button to eBay. It was able to do some minor styling as well. So I'm not sure why it's not working today, but that's an example of this, VS Code plus an extension plus running the models locally. It's not as good as Cursor. So let's flick over to Cursor, and I'll just, like I said, anyone that's new to vibe coding, I fully recommend using Cursor on the free tier. So let's check this out. So I'm just switching over to this, and what I've been doing here, I've zoomed in a little bit just to make sure you guys can see it. So just a quick intro to Cursor. You open up a project folder on the top left. Again, if you're entering the hackathon, you can clone the GitHub Accelerator 2025 open source repo. There's a whole bunch of apps that you can have a look at and inspect the code on, but then also you can generate an app really quickly. But the thing I've been working on is a fully contained, no database blog. So I've been trying to build a blog that can run on top of Xnode, hosted on OpenxAI. So I was able to get some of that working this morning. So let me just show you what that looks like. But basically the quick layout for Cursor as well is, let's just, I'm working on Johnny-DJ as a folder. Inside of this, it's got the Next.js JavaScript application. So it's got all the files here. And I can open these files on the right-hand side. I can have a look at the different, TSX file and all the normal files that you have inside of a Next.js website. Then I can obviously ask a question of this. So, I'm just showing a question like asking, what is this file about? Don't make any changes. So I can talk in free language to the AI. It's able to look at this file. I've added the file as context. So just as a quick one, I'm giving it some information about what the file is. It's correctly figured out the file name, so layout.tsx, and then it's analyzing all the code in this file and explaining it to me. So this is just a read-only ask question from the AI inside of Cursor. It obviously works. There's no bugs, and it's really good. So the model that it uses. So just for those that are interested, what model is it using? It's not using a model on my laptop that I'm running. It's using a cloud model that's hosted in partnership through Cursor. So it goes through the Cursor account. It's there's Claude 4.5 Sonnet, Grok Fast. You can select different ones as well. There's also ChatGPT models. But what I do is I let Cursor figure out which model to use. When the free tier finishes, it will route you to a cheap free model as well. So, I fully recommend using Cursor. I am keen to find an open source free solution of Cursor instead of using the Cursor free tier, and I'll keep hunting around to get a good setup. But one of the other very big benefits of Cursor is it fully understands the whole code base. So not only the app code that I'm working on, I've also included other projects that are related to this project. I can import other repos as submodules, and all of these files get put into the Cursor AI context. So now I can say something like, tell me about the whole Johnny DG, it's a data graph app. What is it about? So if you're downloading an open source application from GitHub, you can actually get AI in Cursor to fully explain every file, every line, and tell you the whole, layout of the application, how it actually processes data and how it works with the user. You can even ask, what color is the front page? How many front pages, home pages are there? How many different pages are linkable from the home page? So there's so many questions you can ask because it can read all the files in all the code in all the files. So it's running through, it's listing all the files in the root folder. It's listing the subfolder and the files within that. It's going through reading that page file I talked about. It's reading the TypeScript Llama file. It's just running through, reading everything. So it's scanned the file and basically gives me an explanation of what this is. So what is it? It's a blog. So I'm building a blog that can be hosted on top of Xnode, which is the OpenxAI hosting platform. And I'm doing things like storing the blog post content, not in a database, but in GitHub, but I'm encrypting them with Age, which is like a popular encryption algorithm. So I'm able to vibe code all of this stuff up. I'm integrating with Llama in the back end. And what I eventually want to do is have a little, blog interface where I can use the local AI to help me, edit and create content for my blog. And then it's run through more analysis. So it's told me all the different pages. And then it's told me everything else about the deployment setup and the Nix config files and things like that. So, it does really great analysis. And one of the great things is they've just added a new feature as well, but ask is to just ask a read-only question where it doesn't change code. Agent, you can give the AI model inside Cursor a high-level goal, and then it will break down that goal into like 10 steps in a to-do list and then go off and complete each objective as it goes through in agent mode to finalize whatever you ask of it. And then the other thing is what they've recently added is plans. So you can actually go into planning mode, come up with a detailed plan, and then go into building mode using agents to build that plan. So this is something I've talked about in previous workshops. If you really want to quickly build using vibe coding, just come up with a detailed README file, a plan of what you want to build. I always do that early on when I'm trying to, say, vibe code an app. So I build out a detailed README file, just a markdown file, and it sort of goes through what are all the features of the app, how to run it, what are the sort of security requirements, what are the file structure, what's the tech stack, and I can. So if you go to the hacknode.openxai.org, click the Getting Started guide or the GitHub link at the top right, you can actually see basically a big prompt explaining the app that I want to build. So this is something that you can work with the AI also. So I can even say explain the README file in Johnny D. G, expand it technically. So it is a good plan. So you can even work with the AI to manage this README file. And I would recommend documenting your app, because the big one is if you lose this computer and you have to open up the GitHub repo on another computer, you've lost all this context potentially where you've been talking to an AI and describing the app you want to build. This is why I recommend you build a README file and commit it to Git, so you can actually save the conversation essentially. And now this is just a quick example of an agent in Cursor modifying a file. So we're not in for coding just yet, but this is basically going to make changes to the README file. So let's see, it's just analyzed it. It's given an explanation of every section. But what I'm going to do is actually tell it to make changes. So it's not making any changes just yet. So it's done some analysis, and that's all it's done. I haven't really asked it to make changes. What I'm going to do though is I want you to come up some ideas of modifying the homepage and being able to edit the blog posts. Also, I want to use the Llama AI to assist me editing the blog post content. So has anyone blogged before? I'm just wondering if this is an app that you're probably familiar with. So it's going. So let's do this and then update the README file also with this section. So I can actually go back, quickly change what I said. So I've added to it, and it's just reset the response. So Cursor's really great at this. Obviously, Cursor came out like a year and a bit ago, so they've had time to fix all the bugs. But you can basically see what it's going to do now is edit this and add a new section into the README file. So let's go to the README file here. Yep, I'm in the right one. Yep. And we just wait for this to draft a plan. And it's going to update the README file because I've added that into the question I asked of the AI. So let's see this. It's going to start editing. And what I'm looking for is some red and green lines where it's deleting and adding code or text inside the README file. We'll just let that load. Okay. So at the top of this, you can see here, this is the scroll bar. Here's the existing README file. It's added a whole new section inside the middle of it, all the way to the end. So it's basically extended the whole README file with a new section at the end. So now it's given me some ideas where I can actually talk to the AI and help plan what I'm going to build. Um, Now, what we'll do is just keep the changes. So you can see here, I could reject or keep. I was able to keep the code changes, and then this would save the file. It's already saved, but basically it will keep those changes I've made with AI. I didn't have to type anything then. I just talked or typed into the AI panel. It did all the typing and brainstorming for me. So it's come up with some good ideas of how to build this AI-enabled blog post editor. So this is pretty cool. The other one I can do is run commands. So the AI can run commands. So, okay, check to see if this blog is running locally. So this is just an example of the agent inside the terminal, or like MS-DOS, or the terminal. It's the same now on Windows and Mac. But basically, it can run commands on my behalf. So we'll let it read some of the files, and then it's figuring out, based on the next JS config file, how does this thing run? What port is it running on? It's then running a command in shell or terminal. Basically, just making sure that npm installs run, so all the packages are installed. Yep, and it's going to host it locally, so npm run dev. So again, I didn't have to learn any of these commands. The AI, I've just talked to it in normal English language, and it's able to do that. So it's saying that it's running the blog locally. So let's see if it's there. So let me just share my screen. So yeah, this is the blog. So this is a Next.js blog that's fully hostable on top of OpenxAI. And what I want to do, I don't know if we can achieve that in this session, but I'll try and get AI-enabled blog post editing working. Essentially what it's doing here, so what I've done is I'm saving all the blog post content into the GitHub repo, but I'm also encrypting it so people can't see that. They can't just read the blog posts. I've also got all the images uploaded, again, encrypted. So, we can use GitHub as a free way to store data. And this is good for some apps. So maybe just a blog post is good. Let's see what this does. So I open up this. So this is basically, I set up another script where it scans my YouTube channel and then creates a blog post out of the YouTube channel. So I'm able to sort of, completely have control over my blog now. I'll deploy this to johnforfar.com as well in the future, fully hosted on Xnode. And you can see here, it's a little script I made, and it just pulls all the thumbnails off of my YouTube channel, creates a link, embeds the YouTube channel in a markdown file. And again, this is all stuff vibe coded yesterday. The big one I'm working on, and this is something that you guys can copy as well, is enabling base. Because this is a mini app, people can tip me for the blog post. So they can tip like $5. I'll make this smaller, so it's like 5 cents, 10 cents, 50 cents, $1, $5, etc. Then also they can share on Farcaster as well. So this will work. So basically, it'll deploy it in a way where you can share on. When you click share on Farcaster, it can actually pull in some thumbnails straight from the blog. You can pull in some content. What I'm also working on is being able to tip, hopefully in Farcaster, but if not, it's a quick click from Farcaster to my blog, and then they're able to use Base to do some tipping. So this is something I want to do for the blog. You can't do that on Medium. So if there's a middleman controlling your blog hosting platform and you want to enable crypto tipping, you can't do that. If you want to, put some customizations on, like a script that automatically pulls a bunch of YouTube content, you can't do that either. So this is an example of building your own app and then doing vibe coding to build the whole thing out. So let's go back to trying to make changes to this site. So right now, if I click this, there's no edit button. I can't edit the content here. It's kind of locked, and it's a markdown file essentially. So let's try and figure out a way to add an editing button and a blog post editor page. So this is going to be a bit of a task. So let's switch over. While that's happening, I'll go to questions and answers again. Just make sure that people are keeping up. Okay, so we're back into Cursor. I'll just double check for questions. Someone said nothing's showing on the screen. Is it okay? Okay, everything's okay. MJ, let me know if there's any other questions. Yeah, but here's another one. So can I use other AI other than Cursor because I have limited free tokens? Again, there is like Windsurf, there is other AI coding tools. Probably the big thing is having full control of your code and deploying it. There is other platforms like, say, Lovable. The problem is with these type of platforms is you don't have access to the code. You can't pull the code out, run it locally. You can't host it on a hosting platform, whether that's like Decentralized, bare metal. You can't put Web3 smart contracts into it and make it really, scale it up as a business. So there's a lot of downsides of using some of these platforms. Even like Google Firebase Studio, you're kind of stuck using Google hosting, and then you're obviously restricted with a lot of the what you can use in that tech stack. It has to be hosted on Google. You have to use Firebase authentication and all this stuff. So there's restrictions. I think the best thing about OpenxAI is it's fully open source. You can pull that code out, run it locally, run it somewhere else if you want to. So that's the biggest benefit, and it's a lot cheaper than some of these other platforms. Are there any downsides or drawbacks when it comes to vibe coding? So yeah, as the same thing applies. Basically, vibe coding is a tool. It doesn't replace smart contract developers. And this is some of the benefit of OpenxAI. They're building a platform where you can just drop down and select an open source smart contract. It's already been, cybersecurity vetted, and it's secure. It's open source as well, so you can check out what it's doing, and then you can see how it connects to the app that you're actually deploying. So that's some of the benefits. With vibe coding, I would always say, just ask the question of the AI, is my app secure? What are the industry best practices for cybersecurity? It will go down, it will help you lock down your API endpoints, make sure your environment variables get ignored and not pushed up into GitHub. So yeah, just ask the question and it can do a cybersecurity check for you. The great thing about vibe coding is it's a great way to deploy like a blog that you've fully built and customized yourself. When it's scaling up to, say, millions and millions of users, you may want to pay because you have millions and millions of users for Medium, like Pro tier or whatever. And maybe that's beneficial, or Substack or whatever it is. But when you're just building MVPs or prototypes or small traffic sites or apps, I would recommend, vibe coding is a quick way to build something quickly, get the idea out of your head onto paper, but actually deployed as a website, and then show people what you've been building. So vibe coding is great for small projects, getting it to MVP stage. I've even heard of stories where people build a vibe coded website, they get the prototype running with like 100 users. The whole thing is vibe coded by the founder, and they've already raised like millions of dollars. So they were able to secure funding. Instead of presenting a PowerPoint, they were able to present an actual app that runs. Does it have all the security checks fixed? Probably not. Is it scalable to millions and millions of users? Probably not yet. But it is a prototype that was vibe coded. So it's a great way to quickly get an idea out of your head. And then the other thing is, MJ mentioned, prepare if you've got ChatGPT free, you can actually copy paste. This is another problem, but copy paste out of, say, ChatGPT or Grok, the free edition, paste the big prompt into Cursor. So ideate, think about what you're going to ask it, come up with the big technical plan first somewhere else. Once you have that big technical README file, then drop it into Cursor. And you're using a lot less API calls in Cursor. You're not using your free tier credits down as much. I'll keep experimenting, trying to come up with a free version using VS Code and Klein or Continue. There is ways to do it, and I'll do more research, and I'll try and get that presented back to you guys as video or whatever instructions. It is expensive, $20 a month. And, if you're working in this industry, then, by all means get it. It is worth it. But if you're not, and you're just trying to build a project, get it out of your head over the weekend, you don't want to pay $20 a month. So I fully understand that. Okay, so let's ask. Let's ask now what we want to do. So check the README. Let's start building a blog post editor button. Make sure it only works if hosted locally. So I'm getting around not putting in authentication or user authentication. Eventually I'll make sure I connect the Web3 wallet when it's deployed, and that'll be the way I can edit the blog post, so it's owned by me. To avoid user authentication at this stage, create the edit button on the blog post page. I'm even going to get even more specific, so I'm just going to try it on. Let's try it with only this post, which is the latest. So let's get an editor running. So it should allow me to edit the text. Keep it simple. Okay, so it's going to go through and start come up with a quick plan. The agents will come up with a to-do list. There's a bunch of changes it's got to make. You should start seeing all these files light up for the changes it's going to make. So it's just reading through the different files of this blog post app, or the blog app, which is just a standard Next.js installation. It's checking the route, so it's like looking at all these different files about how to return the blog post content through the backend route of Next.js. It's figuring it all out for you. It's reading, and then it's going to come up with a quick to-do plan and then start editing the files for you. So this is an example of an agent that can take a goal, break it down into a to-do list, and then start implementing it. this is huge leaps and bounds from 1 year ago in vibe coding. Basically, you'd build something in ChatGPT website. It will give you the code. It couldn't figure out if it even ran or not. You'd then copy it to your local computer in your development environment, paste it in, run it, error, copy paste the error, go back to ChatGPT, paste that in. Thumbs up if you've experienced that from 1 year ago. It's tedious and painful, and it's almost better just to learn how to code and do it yourself. But now it's getting to the point where it is super easy. Tools like Cursor, where it can do all this stuff for you. It can test, so it can make changes, look at the error log if there's an error, and then fix the error. And this is all because it's agentic based. So it takes a goal, keeps going through iterations to achieve the goal. And now here it is. It's starting to edit a file. So it's editing the posts file. It's adding some extra imports. It's adding that I did say if it's local, don't worry about user authentication. So I just want to get it running locally, and then I'll worry about that later. Obviously, you should be logging in to edit the post. This is typical of every website. It's created allow editing from local again. It's got it's going to come up with a bit of a UX. So here it is here. So on the front end side of the site, it's got an is editing mode. So it's got these different like states. So is the post in draft? Is it in editing? Is it saved? Is it saving in case there's an error or the internet drops out? So these are all these things that you have to build if you're building a blog post editor that you wouldn't even think about until you started building it yourself and realize it takes 2 days. So it's able to run through this very quickly. It's running through, it's updating, it's reading all the files across the app. It's then updating all the relevant files across the app. So again, you're not copy pasting multiple files from ChatGPT, putting it into an AI. It's able to put all of that context, the code base indexer in Cursor. It's able to read it all, change it all, and make those changes. It's just doing a quick summary of how it works. The code that it changed, just give me a quick explanation. And it's saying I can start testing it now. Now, you can review all this code yourself and then just approve each line that it's changed, or you can just go to keep all for those that haven't used Cursor much. Or you can undo all. If you didn't like what it did and it went off in the wrong direction, you can undo everything from the last time that it responded, which is this conversation here. But I'm just going to keep all, and I'm going to click back and just double check that the website is loading. So we will see if I can change screen. Did it work? So I don't know if it worked. I'm going to test it out now. So I said just edit this one. Like when I go into this blog post at the top left, there should be an edit button, which then allows me to start editing. So let's see if there is. I don't see it. I don't see it. So that's interesting. So I'm going to go back and ask it, where is it? I don't see it. And so just quickly going back, just showing you what it looked like. I don't see the edit button in the blog post. I can't edit. Fail. So it has context. It's a conversation of what it just tried to do. I've just told it that I can't edit the blog. So it's going through and checking what's actually happening. I can give it the URL and things. This is the URL. So this is an example. No edit button. So I can actually queue up commands in Cursor AI. So you can just keep asking a whole bunch of questions, let it start processing the first one. Because it is agentic, it can like add it to a giant to-do list. And you can like walk off, get a coffee, go to the toilet, whatever, and then come back. So, it is pretty cool how this all works. But what I'll try and do is just get this edit button working. It is very technical, so this is not just a simple UX. There's a whole bunch of back-end changes it's going to have to do for this. So I can understand why it didn't work first time. But yeah, let's try and get it working. Okay. I can see it now. Maybe it was there before, I just didn't even notice it. But so I can see it now. I can see there's an edit button here. I'm just checking cursor. It's finished. Yep, it's finished loading. So there is an edit button now on this blog post. Let's see what happens. Okay. So yeah, okay. So let's check that out. So I can edit the blog post content now. This is Markdown, which is basically how all the content's stored. It's got the YouTube video up here. It's got this random fig caption tag, whatever. So I'm going to try and change this. Let's see if it actually saves. It is running all locally, so it should be okay. Devcon, whoa, Devcon rules. There we go. So let's see if it saves. It says it's saved here. I would prefer it to get out of this editor mode if I'm, oh, maybe not. Maybe it should auto save as I change things. And then when I hit save, it should get out of this editor mode. So I prefer that. So that's something we can fix. But let's see if it loads. Did it change anything here? No. So I didn't, okay. I had to refresh the page and then it's updated the blog post. So there's a couple of two UX problems there. I have to refresh the page when I come out of editor mode to see the changes I made so we can auto refresh. And then the other thing is when I hit the save button, it should save and exit and get out of editor mode. It should auto save as well when I'm editing the actual text. So there are three things actually that I want to change. But yeah, basically I was able to get this editing my blog posts, so I don't have to install WordPress, which is a giant 20-year-old clunky slow. It's a great platform. I used to do a lot of WordPress development, but I've just built this, very simple, nimble, light Next.js blog all through vibe coding. So let's go back to Cursor. We've got a little bit of time. If you have any questions, let me know. But I'll just try and put those features in just quickly. So again, we're vibe coding. There's all these changes that it did make. And I'm just going to hit keep all. And it's kept those changes. Now, okay. I try to be nice to AI, so great. That worked. But I have some feedback. So we're going to list the three things. So first thing, it needs to auto save whenever I edit the text in the Markdown editor. 2, when I hit save button, make sure it saves and exits the Markdown text editor as we have auto save now. 3, when I exit the text editor, I have to refresh page to see changes. I'm not going to tell it to force rechange or like, use some like dynamic way to update the do it. So I'm going to let it figure it out. And these are all things I'm just talking in normal English. I have some feedback on the UX, and the AI model is going to figure out what to do with it. Which AI model is this? So basically, it's probably using it's probably using Claude 4.5 Sonnet. So that seems to be a really powerful AI model for coding. I'll keep working on the open source one because right now VS Code doesn't have that code indexer with continue-dev. I'll try other ones, but I reckon I can get that working a lot better. There are other examples on the internet, and I'll do more research. But yeah, I do feel for everyone that's not paying Cursor Pro and you're sort of stuck on free tier. Let's try and fix that together. If you do have any ideas on an open source free stack for vibe coding, let me know as well. I'm really keen to find that. Okay, so it's come through. Auto save, it's enabled. Debounce in the post editor. I'm guessing that means you don't have to refresh the page. And then a button to save and exit instead of just save. So let's check out the changes. So it's added a few special effects for React. So yes, enable that. It's keep that. It's got the auto save code, so it auto saves whenever I'm editing the text. So I think that'll just keep running and flashing at the top whenever I'm editing. It doesn't seem to be based on time. So yeah, we'll see how this works. So yep, keep that. And then the debounce thing. So I don't know if it's going to refresh. But basically after it comes out of editing and then it gets saved, then it's going to do something there as well. Yep, there's a bunch more changes. Keep all. Let's see how that goes. So I'll share screen. Hopefully I don't have to rebuild the app or anything. But I'm back on the blog post. I hit edit. It says auto save, so that's positive. So something's happening there. When is the next IRL event? You can see here it's auto saved there. Whenever I edit it, yeah, it's saving. It's updating the save button. It's updating the auto saved, which is pretty cool. So yeah, saved then auto saved. So I hit save and close, and it's see, you can see here it's already fixed that. So I didn't have to refresh anything. It just happened automatically. So I've just built a blog post code editor. Or rather, it's more of a blog platform with blog post content editing. You can essentially build this as a mini app, so you'll be able to monetize it with Base as well, so get some tips. It is open source, so you can check the GitHub repo. Just go to github.com/johnforfar. I've called this Johnny-DG, which is a data graph project I'm calling it. And then yeah, we've basically so this is a simple editor for editing the text. Let's do one more change, and again, this is going to get pretty hectic, but we're going to, in the code, in the text editor, enable AI. In the text editor, let's enable AI auto generation to help improve the content so it is more exciting. This is a bit of a how do you want the style of the blog? More exciting and SEO tuned. Based on the existing text, and title. Okay, so I didn't even say Llama, so hopefully it figures out it needs to connect to Llama. It should, based on the context of the rest of the code base. So let's see how this goes. These are pretty serious changes to the code and the app, and I'm doing it all via vibe coding. So let's see how it goes. And we'll let that run. So let's do some more questions and answers while that's running in the background. MJ, did you have anything you wanted to say just quickly? So we've got some templates. Again, if you're talking about code app templates, just go to the hacknode.openxai.org. That's another dashboard I vibe coded. And in the top right, it's got links to the Getting Started guide and the app templates. So some creative engineering prompts. What I'll do, I'll open up the open source repo for the hackathon, and it's got a whole, basically a prompt for you to edit, so you can like try and one-shot your application. But yeah, here we go. So it does know that it has to use a llama because I've specified that in the README, saying this is an AI. It's installed a llama. Basically, it's created an endpoint that talks to localhost, which hosts a llama in the background. Watch the YouTube videos of what a llama is, but basically you install it. You can pull an open source AI model and run it on your own laptop. Preferably, you have a GPU, so a desktop or gaming computer, and you can run it a lot faster if you're trying to run things locally. With OpenxAI, because it is wholesale, decentralized, cheap compute and GPUs, you can do all the same sort of thing in the cloud now, using the exact same build. So Next.js, JavaScript with a llama, with an open source AI model. This same app I run locally, I can run in the OpenxAI cloud. Okay, so it's creating an endpoint to talk to a llama in the back end of my computer. It's adding an improve button to improve the current content of the blog post and make suggestions. And then we'll see how that UX, user experience, looks. Maybe I'll want to tweak that. I don't think we'll have time after this change. But yeah, the main thing is to see how far we can get with AI and vibe coding, and try to do it, not have too many errors. So let's flick back to the actual website. So just loading it up here. Okay, just let me know if you can see it. Oh, there it is. Yep. And I'm back here at the website. I'm just going to refresh it. Let's see if it's working. I'm going to edit the posts. Hopefully AI works. But basically, it's got the AI improve button now. And I'm going to click it. Boom. So because it is a new feature, let's go back and fix it. So this is a good example of fixing the error. So I'm going back to cursor. I'm going here. I'm just pasting the error in from the web page. So, okay, we got an error. Please fix. Make sure you test a llama is available first, and then test the web page works also. Will it be able to test it? Because it has to click AI improve. We'll see. But yeah, at least let's get it to try and fix the error. Okay, so it's going to go off and try and fix that error. I'm going to go back to question time. Yeah, I can share the repo. I'll just put it in the chat. This is it here. So this is the repo. So basically, this is the repo here. Here is the code repo. And you can check out that code, how it works. But basically, let's get it working with AI, because that's a lot more interesting than just a blog post with editing ability. We want to use AI to help us. Oh, it's just had a connectivity error, so I just retry and it will do it. So yeah, just going back to cursor. Let's see how far we get here. So it's looking through the error. It's got to figure out why cursor didn't work. It obviously didn't install Axios, which is like an API endpoint sort of way to talk to APIs. So obviously it's got to install that. And it's just modifying the package.json, and then it'll run like an npm install again to install the package. So it's generating a command, npm install. So these are all things that a developer will do a billion times, and they don't have to do this repetitive stuff anymore, which saves time even for developers. And I would recommend any developer just learn the tools of vibe coding just to save them from doing repetitive work, and save time so they can focus on the harder aspects of their job. Also, vibe coding, if you just want to build something cool for fun, it's also good. So yeah, let's see if we can fix that in like 2 minutes. And then we'll see if we can get AI recommending things to improve on the blog post. There's a few complexities here. So there's a backend aspect of Node, but it's setting up a backend endpoint that talks to Alama, which is another URL. And then it's getting the front end to talk to the backend of Node. So it's doing all this work for us, which is great. It's restarted the server. It's installed that package that it needed. And I'll just hit refresh. It seems to be loading. So let's share screen. See if we can get this working on time. And yeah, we're back to our blog post. We hit edit. I don't know if this is going to work. Auto save is working, which is cool. Let's see if AI can make an improvement. So it's saying here generating. So it's making a command, a call to the backend. It's hopefully talking to AI, and then it's going to make some changes. So, and yeah, you can see here it has made changes already. So I'll just see if this works. It is auto saving though, but okay. So I should have screenshotted it, but basically it's oh, let me see if you can see the page. Okay, so let me share the right tab. Yeah, so we're in the editor. It used to say something really small here, and then it's gone through and updated you know, the content here. It's expanded this paragraph out. So that's an example of what it's done. So let's try it again. Let's see if we can do another improvement. It's not really showing me what it changes, so it is a bit difficult. You have to like memorize what it's changed. You can see here it's condensed it a lot. It's removed the embedded YouTube link. But yeah, basically it's using AI. It's making suggestions on how to improve this post. And it would be great if to add a little chat box to actually talk to the AI. So I can do that now as well. But basically I've built an AI enabled app that can improve the blog post content based on the title, the existing text, and SEO best practice. So this is cool. And yeah, I've edited it. You know, the figure tag is missing. That's why the YouTube link is not embedding. That's just a way I had to do it to get this web page running. So that's something we can modify the prompt to do. But yeah, you can see here it's changed it with AI, and this is an AI-powered app now, a blog posting platform that uses AI, all run locally, and then I can also host on OpenxAI, so it's really cheap for everyone. So I could even offer hosting to people so they can use an AI editing blog posting platform with monetization on base and then start charging for it. So this is probably something I'll try and make money out of just for a demo. So yeah, once all the full-blown app stores launch, this blog platform would be on there. So you can like host your own blog and monetize it and use AI to help you edit the posts. So you could enable extra features like image generation. So there's open source AI models for image generation as well. And I'll just quickly show you what I'm talking about when I say open source. So you can go to the YouTube videos as well. But all of these open source models are specialized in a certain thing. There's a lot of general models as well that are large language models. But some of these are specialized on languages. So some talk 25 languages. They can translate between different languages. So you can use a specific open source AI model for language translation. There's specific models for coding like Qwen 2.5. You know, there's another one here for using analyzing images. So Lava, it can analyze pictures and even, I think, video as well, if you cut it into frames. So there's just hundreds and hundreds of open source AI models that you can use and build an app around as well, and then start charging for it. So it's a pretty cool, space that you're in with open source AI. And I'll stop presenting and I'll go back to question time. And I think we're finishing up, MJ, at the time. Is there any other questions you guys had? One thing I was going to show you is that super prompt. So let me just quickly do that. So I'm just going to open the GitHub repo that you need to open, and then show you the cursor for that. So what I'll do, I'll just share so just going back to sharing my screen. So if I just go here, if I want to go to OpenxAI -network at GitHub, or you can just click the Hacknode link that I showed you, and there's a link straight to it. Here's the hackathon open source repo. And then what I do is just quickly clone this. So let that load. Kind of weird GitHub. So GitHub's having troubles loading. Okay. Here we go. So let's get back to that. So GitHub just announced that they announced they're moving all their custom backend infrastructure that hosts GitHub. They're fully moving that to Azure, Microsoft Cloud now. I think Microsoft bought them out like 5 years ago or something, but they haven't changed any of the infrastructure. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next few years, moving an open source community GitHub into Microsoft, and then they're going to take it over with Microsoft hosting, which is obviously going to get expensive for GitHub. And we'll see if they keep giving out free hosting for open source projects. But if they don't, we'll move to somewhere else. Yeah, this is the repo that you can clone to your own computer and download. And then you basically open it up in Cursor. And just a quick one, just very quickly. You open up this in Cursor. You can see all the example code. So again, all of these demo apps are AI-enabled apps. They have a llama running in the background. They have an open source model, and there's all these different, hackathon streams. But basically, the base mini app templates there. If you want to build a base mini app, there's like a game demo app. There's a learning kids education app as well. So yeah, you can. There's one using a vision model, AI vision model, so it can recognize what's in the picture. Is it red? Is it green? Is it a clown? Is it whatever? So there's all sorts of stuff. You can even build like a customized CCTV and analyzing app using AI. And the beauty of this is I've tried doing this before for someone else previously. I had to use like a Microsoft product to scan a CCTV camera, hundreds of images per 5 minutes, or like hundreds and hundreds of images, and it costs a fortune for AI on Azure to analyze all those images. And we can do all of this locally, open source, and then deploy the same code structure and open source stack onto the cloud now. So it is pretty revolutionary in terms of costs. But yeah, I think it costs $700 to run that for a month. That Azure Vision, I think it's Vision Stream or something like that, product, and we're able to do all that open source. So yeah, there's a lot of better ways to do it. So what we'll just quickly do is go to the README, and then when you open the README, you can actually find this ultimate vibe code prompt, and this is something that you can use to help one-shot the application that you're doing. So it sort of explains to the AI, base the code off of the demo code that I have in this repo. So that's for Cursor. It'll tell it to create a new folder. It'll say, use all the same tech stack as these demo apps like a llama and the AI model, different versions of TypeScript and Tailwind. You then specify what you want the website to look like. So add mood-based color themes. You can say pink and blend it with gradient orange, and it'll have a nice, cool looking website. Critical fixes. So this is something I was working on, but basically all the critical normal bugs, there's a list of bugs that it will fix and check for you, so you don't have to worry about any of these bugs. So this is just something I've added to make sure it's really easy for people to deploy stuff. And then a troubleshooting checklist, so the agent will then go through a list of tests to make sure that the one-shot app that you deployed actually works, and then it deploys it. And then, basically that's the big list. Now, you can add, more cybersecurity checks. So I'd put that in here or here and just say, based on industry best practice, please make sure you lock down the endpoints, protect all the environment variable keys, whatever, just make it secure. Even if you just put it in English language, it'll just say, it'll run through and do all the normal checks for security. So you can get around all the basics. Again, you're just trying to get this app running, running for 100 users, and then if you get some funding or revenue from users, then you start hiring extra people or spending more time with AI to lock down the bugs, fix the security holes, things like that. Vibe coding is great for quick MVP prototyping. If you're building the next Facebook, obviously you'd start hiring a team at some point. Okay, well, so today we went through how to build the next Medium or WordPress. So have fun. Feel free to clone it and check that out. Let's just go back to MJ. Let us know if there's any new questions. If not, thanks so much for attending tonight. and hopefully you learned some more about vibe coding, some of the setup you can do for the stack you have at home, how you can run open source models, even without the internet, without paying a subscription. You can get it working eventually, and I'll keep trying to find the best solution that's an alternative to Cursor. But yeah, use Cursor free tier, clone the repos that are open source, use AI to help you extend or build upon them. And yeah, good luck with whatever app you're trying to vibe code and build. And there is a hackathon running. You got 2 weeks. If you can build something cool, you might be able to win like $10,000 US. So that's a lot of pesos. What is that, like 30,000 pesos or 38, 40,000 pesos or something? I don't know. Let us know in the chat. So who's done the calculation? No one yet. All right, so yeah, there's a big prizes to win. You got 2 weeks to submit something, and you can completely vibe code it in Cursor. So yeah, make sure you do. Sign up today as well. So make sure you sign up to the hackathon site. It's at the top of the Hacknode link. Just click Bloxy Block, sign up there. Make sure you not just sign up to create an account at Bloxy Block, but join the hackathon. Then after like in a couple of weeks time, you then create a project and submit the project. So there's 4 steps in total. Please do the first 2 steps if you are joining, just so we can get an early indicator of how many people are joining. We can even host mentoring sessions or more AMAs around the hackathon if you want to in the next 2 weeks. If you do have a good app idea and you want to try and win that prize, yeah, please reach out and we can help you there. And you can also see the YouTube videos. So there's plenty of mentoring sessions I've run before. So check that out as well. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much. Is there any other questions? We've got one here. How can we get the certification for Vibe Coder enthusiasts? Over to MJ.
Yeah. So I'll be sharing my screen so that you do you guys already downloaded Certifica app? Because you can scan the code through Certifica. Yeah, so I'll be sharing the code. Hold on.
There's no more meetings tonight. It's getting a bit late. Are you asking for like a follow-up workshop, or you are welcome to, if you're joining the hackathon, we can have a mentoring session, either one-on-one recorded or like a group AMA on Discord. So make sure you join the Discord link at the top of the Hacknode website. And yeah, we can chat there as well. I think MJ, you're just loading the what, QR code up or something?
Yeah, I'm still loading. Hold on.
Okay. If not, we can put the link in the Facebook Messenger chat as well, so you're not going to miss out. Is that right, MJ?
Yes, I will be uploading the QR code in our group chat, so make sure to go there. I will send the link again. Yeah, so guys, join our group chat in the Messenger, and I will upload the QR code, and then just scan the QR using the Certifica app, and make sure that your email, the registered email you used in Luma, is the one you are using in Certifica. So yeah, before we totally finish, just turn on your camera, guys, and so that we can have a documentation.
Hey guys, thanks for staying for like 2 hours. That's awesome. Hopefully you guys are going to build something cool. Yeah, really keen to help people that are also living in Davao and across Philippines.
John, can you can you get the whole view on your end?
I don't have the whole view on my end. Do you have it?
Hold on, how to?
I think you have to use the streaming.
Yeah, so it's not showing up here also. Yeah, so I'll just screenshot what I got here. So yeah, I will count 3, 2, 1, smile. Hold on. There's a chat. All right, so thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Thank you to Devcon Davao for collaborating with us. And thank you guys for your time and showing up here. And I hope you learned a lot from our session tonight. And just chat your concerns, your clarifications in our group chat. So, and also we have John Forfar to mentor your projects. So yeah, don't be shy to ask.
Yeah, and stay tuned to OpenxAI Twitter tomorrow for the new vibe coding base mini app vibe coding platform. So there is some news coming out tomorrow. As per the Twitter, have a look. So yeah, cool. MJ, is there any follow-ups workshops after this, or we just make sure everyone's in the chat and we'll let you know?
Yeah, we'll just inform in the GC for the follow up. Or oh guys, maybe you can yeah, thank you guys. Thank you Antonio for your chat. Yeah. Just explore vibe coding and then try building your ideas there in OpenX AI Studio because we have an update tomorrow. So it's a one click deployment and maybe you can start there. Right, John?
Yeah, so that's a good point. Like, you know, from what I've heard from the vibe coding platform, so basically it's a way to modify the app templates. I keep, you know, it's all open source, so you can quickly modify in Cursor yourself. But what this does is just give you to a website where you can just like put a prompt in and modify that app template yourself through the website, and you don't have to install all this stuff. And there's also a big server with GPU running in the background, so it's all hosted and it's very easy for you to vibe code and deploy an app that way as well. Um, Again, it's all the same code. It's all open source, so you can always grab that code and run it locally and check it out as well. So try and learn how to do it locally as well, rather than using a hosted platform by someone else. But yeah, tomorrow you'll be able to check it out and see what you can build there as well. If you're building a crazy app, startup idea, you probably want to use Cursor because it's a bit more powerful. Yeah, hopefully you can build some really cool stuff. So the main thing about vibe coding is just getting started, and there shouldn't be any barriers for you to get started now because you just have to talk in whatever language you can talk to an AI. So there's not much barriers left. You just have to chat to an AI to build something now. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, guys. Registration for the Hacknode Global Hackathon was extended until October 30, and the submission will be on October 31. So you have few days to build your apps, and yeah, good luck to your entries. So you can submit as many entries as you can to this hackathon. So and also we have no limits in team members. You can submit individually or by team. Yeah, it's up to you.
Awesome. So you got 2 weeks left. So you can build some cool ideas in 2 weeks. I was able to build a whole bunch of blog post editing features in like half an hour. So you can imagine how many hours are in 2 weeks. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can build. You just have to do it. So yeah, good luck, guys. And thanks for your time tonight. Catch you later.
Yeah, good night, everyone. Thank you.
Ingat.